Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mindset Mentors podcast. This is episode 19. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who tune in every week to keep up with me with these episodes because a lot of the times the episodes are just built based on certain emotions that I'm feeling throughout the week or certain random thoughts that I get. And I think it'll be really helpful to talk about this and get a conversation going. And that has always been the intent of the Mindset Mentors podcast, where I am not here to tell you what to do, but I am here to bring you certain topics to your awareness so you can learn more about yourself and you can really get to know yourself and challenge your belief systems. And as a result of it, as a byproduct of it, are able to learn something about yourself. And you're able to use those learnings to level up in all areas of your life, physically, mentally, and spiritually. So, this episode is also inspired by a random thought that I had a couple days ago. I also actually saw this on someone else's Instagram page. And this content creator who's amazing, by the way, and she was just like doing her makeup and just showing how she does her makeup. And one of the comments under it was, "Oh my God, let's stop doing this for validation," or something along those lines. And it struck a chord with me because I have also, as a content creator, heard this several times where people have told me that I'm just doing my content creation work for validation, that I am just, seeking validation through posting. And so when I saw this comment under another creator's page, it really got me thinking, what is it about validation that is so triggering to people? What is it that we need to better understand about this idea of validation and seeking validation that's so bad? Because I'll be very honest with you, I don't think enjoying validation every now and then is a bad thing. If you're going to leave this episode right now, that's great because that's what I wanted to get out. I don't think enjoying validation that you receive from other people is necessarily a bad thing. I think it comes down to the intention of how you get that validation. So that's what we're going to talk about in this episode. We're going to talk about forms of validation that's actually healthy and, necessary and good for you as a human being, and forms of validation that are actually toxic, forms of validation that are negative. And as humans, we love to use big words to put a blanket over emotions. We love to put a blanket over very complex ideas and emotions because we want to understand it better and we want to make it easy for understanding. But unfortunately, with life, if you know, nothing is easy, nothing falls within buckets. Everything ebbs and flows, between different things. And it's not that simple to categorize people or categorize emotions and feelings and actions by single words. Okay. So, what is validation? Okay. Validation, just by the term itself, right? Validating is a form of getting approval for something that is meant to work the way it's supposed to work. Okay. In the most simplest terms, validation is just the approval that the thing is working the way it's supposed to work, in simple terms. Okay. So now, what is healthy forms of validation? Healthy forms of validation is when, let's say, that you are expressing yourself, you are being yourself, you are in flow state, you are happy, truly content within you, grounded, and as a result of that, you are expressing something in the world. Okay? And that expression of you is receiving praise, approval, accolades, success, in whatever forms of success could mean to you. That is validation, right? That is a healthy form of validation because it is a byproduct of you being the best version of yourself truly internally and expressing yourself in whatever fields that may be. So that may be as a content creator, that may be as a parent, as a mom, as a dad, as a 9 to 5 employee, as a business owner, whatever it is that you do externally. Okay, however you express yourself externally, is a result of who you are internally. And that expression that you are able to show the world receives praise, approval, love, accolade, success. That is a form of validation that you can enjoy. And there's nothing wrong with enjoying that validation. There's nothing wrong with being happy that someone tells you you're doing a good job or that you're excelling in something. That's a form of validation that should be enjoyed and that should be used as fuel to keep you motivated to continue doing that thing. However, this is where the problem is. On the other side, unhealthy validation, unhealthy, toxic validation is when you tend to seek it. So, what does it mean to seek it? To seek it is that you start doing things and you start expressing yourself in a way that's inauthentic to who you really are, but you are just doing it, you are expressing this externally to get that praise, approval, love, success, validation. Okay. Why is this form of validation bad or toxic versus this validation? It's bad because you are seeking it. You are not being your authentic self. You are not truly enjoying who you are. And you are chasing that validation. You are seeking it. Versus on this side, where the validation is just a byproduct of you truly being who you are and being able to express it. Let's, like, for an example, right? Let's talk about content creators because we started this episode with talking about content creators. If a content creator is creating content by truly expressing themselves authentically without care of how a specific piece of content is going to be received by an audience, but it ends up receiving a lot of likes, comments, shares, and followers, that form of validation that this content creator is receiving is something that I do believe she should enjoy. Okay. I do believe that that kind of praise, approval for fully being yourself, that praise is something that she should enjoy. Versus on this side, if you are making content that doesn't feel authentic to you and you are trying to mold and fit yourself into a specific box, so then you will get those likes, shares, comments, saves, followers, that's unhealthy because you will never be happy. End of the day, you will never fully be satisfied because you don't feel true to who you are, because you don't feel that grounded flow state energy within you. On this side, when you are grounded and in that flow state energy, it doesn't matter how people perceive it because you are still getting fulfillment out of it, right? And the validation that comes of it, that's just like a little extra cherry on top kind of moment. Versus here, your content creation, you're trying to build a whole cake based on that validation that you're going to receive. And then when you don't receive it, because you're not always going to receive it, because that's just the nature of social media, you are going to feel like unworthy. You're going to feel fearful. The next time you want to post content, you're going to be like, oh my God, like, are people going to receive it this way? Like, am I going to get likes, comments? And you're just going to be so in your head about it that you don't enjoy the process of it. And I always say it's about the process. It's always about the process. It's not the destination. The destination is just the the cherry on top, but the entire cake itself is the process. And so, with anything that you do, if you're not able to enjoy the process of it or truly understand your intention of why you're doing it, it's not going to be as fulfilling. And at the end of the day, if something doesn't feel fulfilling, it's not worth it. You know, let's think of another example for when someone might be seeking validation, right? This is going to be a fun one. Let's talk about marriage because I think all of us will understand this better. There's no doubt that in today's society, although I think it is changing, marriage is something that gives you societal validation. It may not like to hear it, but it's true. When you're married, you get a special status in society. Society does validate you. You are validated among your family, your friends, and Trevor Noah talks about it where he's like, well, he wanted to go to a wedding somewhere and, he wasn't allowed a plus one because he was single versus his married friends could always bring a plus one. So society validates you when you are married. Now, is it a good thing or bad thing? It's a whole other subject, right? But in this subject, if you are getting married because you want that societal validation, because you want that approval from society and you want your friends and family to look at you and be like, damn, you did a good job, you are checking off boxes. If you are getting married for those reasons, I don't think I have to say it, but that's a very unhealthy way to approach life, right? That's a very unhealthy um, reason to seek societal validation. I'm talking about very surface level. Everybody is different. Everybody's reasons may be different, but I'm just talking about very surface level. Um, and saying that if you are getting married for those reasons, for societal validation, it's probably not very healthy. Versus if you really, really love somebody, and you can't think of another day of not waking up besides them and you want to get married. And then as a byproduct of that, you get, the love, the affection, the praise, the big wedding, the gifts, and all of that. That's a very healthy form of validation that should be enjoyed, and that is okay to enjoy that form of validation. Another example that I can think of is with your job. At a 9 to 5 job, let's say that you're working really hard every single day at your job, you're trying to excel every meeting, you're trying to speak up, be out there, be heard, and your boss comes in one day and says, "Good job." You know? Now, if you worked, I don't know, 6 months by being the best version of yourself to get that good job or to get that praise or to get an award or even a promotion, right? If you worked really, really hard just for those things, that's gonna feel good for a moment. I'm don't get me wrong, promotions, raise are all great things. I love it. But if you are doing those things just for that praise moment, but not actually enjoying your every single day leading up to it, that moment, even though it is a raise and a promotion, that feeling is going to fade. You're going to just have a new baseline that's set of your happiness level, right? And then that becomes your new baseline. And then what? Then you're going to keep running to the next promotion, the next raise, the next accolade, the next praise by our boss, seeking validation, in other words. Versus if you truly enjoy the job that you're doing and you're truly making that interpersonal connections with your colleagues and you care about the company and you care about the culture and you truly are in flow state, then it wouldn't matter when that promotion came. It wouldn't matter when the praise came or the raise came. You would just already be living such a fulfilled every single day that it wouldn't matter when those big moments came. So what I'm trying to say with all of this is the idea of validation has a very negative connotation in our society. And I don't think it's all wrong. I think with everything in life, there is a gray area. There is a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And being mindful and aware and self aware of why you do certain things in your life and where it is that you seek validation and why it is that you seek validation, and really asking yourself those questions will just help you live a more fulfilled every single day. And it's not easy. It's not easy. It took me a long, long time to get myself to even sit down to make this episode, because for the longest time, I myself was in an inner conflict of why am I doing certain things? Why am I a content creator? Why am I trying to get the next job? Why am I trying to do this? Why am I trying to do that? And realizing and asking myself these questions really brought me to a place where I now can 100% tell you that regardless of the praise, the validation, the accolades, whatever comes out of it, it will never be because I want it. And I'll be honest, I couldn't say this maybe a year ago, but now I can say it because I fully feel it, you know? I can feel 100% that I will only do what truly feels real to me. I will only do what truly feels authentic to me. And if I get the praise, validation, accolade, success, that is amazing. But if I don't, that's okay too, because I feel like I am living a life that I have chosen 100% for myself. You know, the good, bad, the ugly, whatever comes with it, whatever consequence it has. And this episode is just merely that. It's this episode, the reason behind this episode is to just get you to just think a little bit. Why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Why am I working so hard at this job? Why am I, posting content on social media? Why do I feel the pressure to get married? Why do I, why do I want to be a parent? Do I even want to be a parent? And whatever you end up doing, whatever decision you end up making, make sure that it feels right. And that's why I always say meditation, journaling, spending time with yourself, talking to yourself, getting to know yourself, they're all so important because they all kind of align you with your soul and what your soul truly wants out of this life. And you will never be in a place where you have to betray yourself, you know? And I guarantee you this, if you sit with yourself and you just ask the question of, am I doing this for validation? You will know. You will just know immediately if it's a yes or a no. So with that, that is the conclusion of episode 19 of the Mindset Mentors podcast. I hope you were able to get something out of this. My goal with all of this is for you to just get to know yourself better and truly become one with yourself, mind, body, soul level. So thank you. If you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to me on Spotify. You can also find me on social media. All of that is linked in the description. And I look forward to meeting you next week with another interesting topic. Bye, guys.